What up? What up? Whoa. To follow up on the video I actually did about 2 days ago, which is pretty much showing the perspective of what's actually going on here in Danang. Um, I like to actually start it off with a updates on the situation. And this is actually from what I gathered from in the news, so it's not like it's just my opinion. This is actually gathered information from the Vietnamese news, because it's something that you guys don't get in America. You guys get, everyone else's opinion, along with some people who actually are responsible enough to, do the research and get the information. So this is actually me sitting down and and gathering the information, writing stuff out, and and so forth. But before I get to that, allow me to say I'd like to apologize to a friend of mine, a good Vietnamese friend of mine back in America. I posted a picture of him and I together, but I also put the Vietnamese flag on there. The current Vietnamese flag, because there's two. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of you viewers don't understand. There's two Vietnamese flags. There are two of them. One is the current, the new flag, and the other is the one that the Hanoi flag. I think that's what they call it. I'm not sure. Actually, I have to Google that. But yeah, so anyway, so I posted a picture of him and I with the current Vietnamese flag in it. He actually sent me a message this morning, and he said, "Hey, can you please remove the flag? I'm in the picture with you because it makes me look like a communist sympathizer." You know what I mean? And this guy, he's a great guy. He loves Vietnam. He lives in America now. He loves Vietnam, and he actually travels to Vietnam every so often. But he also was the community, I should say, the community came against him a while back. A number of years ago, not current, a number of years ago, when he was in politics. Because when he was in America, he was in politics, and he was a representative of the Vietnamese community. And what happened was there was a guy, basically, that was flying a Vietnamese flag in his store. From what he told me, there was a guy flying a Vietnamese flag in his store. In America, but the Vietnamese community found it to be damning in terms of what they went through and the struggle they went through with the Vietnamese War and all that stuff. So a lot of people wanted the guy to remove it. The guy didn't remove it, but since he was a politician at the time, basically what happened was he was like saying he actually went out there and he said, look, this is America. There's a freedom of speech, freedom of rights. There's rights, and he has free will to do whatever he wanted with his property. He can fly a Vietnamese flag in his store if he wanted to. Well, lo and behold, the Vietnamese community didn't just come against that guy. They actually came against him, almost destroying his political career in America, and caused him to lose his business, because he had a business at the time, lose his business, almost lost his house, because he has to spend thousands, like maybe a few $100,000. I believe he had to mortgage his house to actually get the money to pay for his lawyers and all this stuff, just because of personal opinion of past events. You know what I mean? Now, granted, we all kind of know, and then some people are for and against what happened during the Vietnamese crisis in terms of the Vietnam War. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to resurrect what happened, but at the same time, I like to say that I went ahead and I sympathized with the fact that he did text me, and he said, "Hey, can you remove the flag?" I did alter the picture. I didn't remove the picture. I actually altered the picture. I took the flag out and I reposted the picture. So the picture's on my Facebook, with him and I in it. But at the same time, it's very damning to know that he almost lost his business. He almost lost his livelihood. He almost lost his his you know his respect in the community, just because of a situation due to people in others. And it wasn't Americans, it was actually other Vietnamese, and there is a lot of Vietnamese in America that still don't adhere to what's going on in Vietnam, the changes and stuff like that. They kind of like still very stuck in the fact that it's a communist country. Well, to me, it's a communist country in name. Yes, there is a communist government, but I'm not here to question the government. And I think there's a lot of changes, a lot of good things happening in Vietnam, especially with the crisis in terms of fighting the virus right now. They have done a lot of good things to help the community. Vietnam has been actually at the forefront of this whole campaign to fight against the virus. And they've done a great job, you know what I mean? So I want them to say, hey, even though they left Vietnam and went to America or went to Europe, wherever they went to, in terms of, because there's a huge diaspora of Vietnamese all around the world now. Yeah, to follow up on what I was talking about in terms of the two flags here, it's not here, but the two flags that once was in Vietnam, one of them is no longer, has been disintegrated, and it's no longer the flag of Vietnam, because Vietnam did at one point have two flags, one in the north and one in the south. I believe in America, one of my Vietnamese friends did say it was the freedom flag. That's the flag that most Vietnamese in America adhere to, because they left during the crisis, and the Vietnamese here in the homeland adhere to the current flag, which is the red and yellow flag with a star on it, right? Now, this will show you what the other flag looks like. This is what it looks like, okay? That's the other flag. And the current flag, like everyone knows, this is what it looks like, okay? That's the current flag. Just to give you a small history of the old flag, it's the yellow flag, which is called Ca Bang, or flag of South Vietnam, was officially used in South Vietnam, Republic of Vietnam, during the Vietnam War, and whole of Vietnam. Yes, that includes North Vietnam in 1954. That's a long time ago, 1954, before the Vietnamese Communist Party took over. This flag is widely used in most of the overseas. It says right here, this flag is widely used in most of the overseas Vietnamese communities worldwide. The yellow flag is banned in current Vietnam by the government. Okay, like I said, and I remember when I first came to Vietnam, I was very happy of being here and all that stuff, and I was having fun. I bought a couple of t-shirts that actually had the current Vietnamese flag on it. So I took it back with me to California, which most people know in California there's a huge Vietnamese community. So I took it back with me, and I was wearing one of the t-shirts. Now my Vietnamese buddy, one of my Vietnamese buddies, he was kind of like, whoa, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? He said, man, you gotta take that t-shirt off. I'm like, why? It's a Vietnamese t-shirt. He's like, yeah, but you gonna get beaten up, man. You're gonna have a mob of people after you and shit. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, if you go anywhere in the Vietnamese community with that t-shirt right now, they're gonna look at you funny and probably call you a few names, or they might try to attack you. Who knows, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're gonna have to take that t-shirt off, man. I'm like, wow. And then he kind of gave me his own perspective on what's going on. And I'm like, okay, so I respect that. So my friend texted me and he said, much thanks for altering the flag and not making me look like a sympathizer because of what I went through before. I don't want to go through that again. So I said, no problem. I sent him back a message. I said, no problem, much love and respect, and stay healthy, stay safe, and see you when you come to Vietnam, because he did. He's actually in his 70s. He's like, I mean, just to mention, I'm not gonna mention his name, but I will say he's in his 70s now. Him and his wife, they do live in Southern California. They are back living a good life, because once he retired from politics and all that stuff, he went back into the restaurant business, and he is very successful since then. But what he went through he doesn't want to go through again. So he was very thankful, you know, that I responded so quickly, and not to not for him to rehash what happened to him many years ago. I know, like, it's funny. It's actually, you know, he has kind of been like a very good mentor to me in terms of Vietnam, like a father. He's been a very good father figure, because it's funny how we met. You know, I mean, I walked into his restaurant, one of his restaurants, in California, and all of a sudden he came out to me while I was sitting there eating, and he said, "How do you like Vietnamese food?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know." And then we started talking a little bit, and I expressed a little bit about Vietnam, and he didn't know at the current point in time I had already been to Vietnam. So I told him that. He was like, "Whoa!" So he actually got really excited. I went to Vietnam, and ever since then, 2 years ago, we became friends, and he became a mentor to me. We started having dinners together. We started having coffee. He'll text me. So he said, "Hey, you want to go have some coffee?" And then he said, meet me at my restaurant." He's the boss, so basically he can leave and go have coffee if he wants. So I'll meet him at his restaurant, and then we'll leave, and then we'll go to his own little particular coffee shop, where he's just he's a customer. I mean, although he owns a restaurant, he could stay there and have coffee if you want, but we'll go to his little spots around town, and we'll just sit back and talk. And he'll mentor me a lot about Vietnam, and he gave me a lot of information about when I come to Vietnam. He said, "Look, go to Vietnam and be successful." That was his words to me. He said, "Go to Vietnam, be successful, because you are very smart, very intelligent guy. I like your personality, and you will do good in Vietnam." He said, "And when I come to Vietnam, I will come visit you." And he was here, but he ended up getting sick, so he has to be flown back to the United States because of his doctor. I mean, he did get some treatment here, but he flew back to the United States early because he's like I say, he's in his 70s, and you know, he doesn't want to take the chances, so he flew back to the United States and everything. So we didn't really get a chance to hook up, but he did send me a message. He said, sorry we didn't meet up, and we're definitely got to do it when he comes back to Vietnam in the future. So I'm looking forward to that, and much respect. And I love, like I said, I love him as a father. He's been a really good mentor to me in terms of Vietnam and in life, you know what I mean? So for me, being in Vietnam, I owe a lot to him for the 2 years before I actually decided to move and live here. Updates, as I promised. And so now let's talk about what's going on here in Vietnam. If you're planning on coming to Vietnam, this is what you need to know. Let's start off with what's the current situation. And I'm going to read this as verbatim in terms of, and like I said, these are my highlights. It's not really long, but hopefully you can bear with me a little bit, and so we can actually get through this, right? If you're planning on coming to Vietnam, you'll have to get on the exceptional work list, okay? And we'll need a letter from the People's Community, Department of Construction, letter of quarantine plans, and a COVID-19 test, and most importantly, a job sponsorship, but not 100%. And the reason why I say not 100% is that in terms of the job sponsorship and the rest of the information, in terms of those two things, is that once you get a job sponsorship, you still have to get an interview when you get here. So when you get here, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the job, because if you fail the interview, then you flew here and now you don't have a job, right? So you got to think about that too. In terms of the current situation, and as far as the exceptional work list go, well, that could also change too, because again, this is Vietnam and things change day by day, right? That's another thing you have to take into consideration. So well, it's like my new visor. So basically, this is well, if I go to the store, this is what I wear now. Like, I actually have face mask, I got a visor, just in case, you know, when people are talking, so nothing really gets into your face. And like I was talking about, we do have a ticket. Like, every 3 days, we actually have to we can go to the market to buy stuff, and this is the ticket we have to use right here. Every 3 days, this is what we got to use, you know what I mean, to go buy go buy groceries and stuff like that if you want to cook, you know. It's not, so it's a little bit more extreme, okay? It's a little bit more extreme. You know, it's a little bit more extreme, and you know, it's what life is right now. It's what life is right now here in Vietnam. This is what we have to deal with, and so therefore, yeah, that's it. You know, that's it. We cannot leave our houses to we cannot leave our houses to go walking about like we used to, because some people was actually doing that before. You know, even though, let me take this off right here. Man, this thing is sorry about that. Yeah, some people were actually leaving their houses before, like, you know, they'll go in a small group and go walking around the city, you know, just to get some exercise and stuff. Well, the local police have actually stopped that. We cannot just go walking about. They don't want us. They want us to be mostly indoors. Like I said, it has been extremely. It's more of extreme right now, where they basically say be inside, stay inside. That's the reason why we have a ticket now to go grocery shopping every 3 days. We can still go shopping at like Big C and all of the markets and stuff like that, but a lot of people have decided to kind of like distance themselves away from like the big grocery stores, because the big grocery stores are not using the ticket system for some apparent reason. Only the open markets. It's kind of weird that the only the open markets are the ones that's using the ticket system, but not the big grocery stores. Medical facilities are open, so if you want to get anything taken care of in terms of medical is open. But as far as extreme measures, we have no deliveries. There's no deliveries anymore until further notice. The last thing I read in terms of Vietnam, in terms of Danang, is that we are in lockdown until there's no until further. They said all public transportation and restaurants are now to be closed indefinitely with no deliveries. That's it. All restaurants, no public transportation, and no deliveries indefinitely. Pretty much until further notice, but they didn't say that, so I'm gonna add it until further notice in there. So it's going on almost a month now that we have been in quarantine. So yeah, that's the situation that's happening right now here in Da Nang. And another thing too, the 14-day quarantine. If you are coming to Vietnam again, you will have to adhere to a 14-day quarantine. So if you're coming here just on vacation, add into your vacation time 14 days. That's it. So which means if you had a 2-week vacation, don't come. We also know that there's a few things I really didn't get to on this list, because it's such a long list of highlights that I have of the news that's actually going on here. And again, I don't want to mislead. I don't want to say anything outside of what's actually going on. And like I said, that's my responsibility in terms of me, you know, being a content creator, is that I want to be very responsible. And that's the reason why. That's the reason why. In terms of C virus, they are dinging anybody who make any content creator who has tried to put out information out there about C virus. So therefore, just remember that we all have to be very responsible, and that's the reason why YouTube has made a lot of changes as well. And you know, another thing you guys didn't know, anybody that had well, the whole word in their YouTube content, we're having what you call limited viewing, because YouTube has decided to put a ban on some of these videos, and literally have said, look, you guys are not actual news reporters. Even though you guys are reporting it, it's your opinion. It's not official fact about what's going on. So therefore, they're dinging people for actually use the whole word in their YouTube content. So I actually, the reason why you guys haven't seen anything from me in the last couple of weeks, or few weeks I should say, is because I went back and I went and cleaned up my entire, any video I had with the C word in it. I had to edit my titles, and it actually was a good thing, because I had to go in there and I also created thumbnails and stuff like that to actually express what's going on in all of my videos. So that was another thing I had to do too. So therefore, because YouTube is changing the game in terms of creation. They're making it more viable and more, and they're making it more, from what I understand, it's becoming harder. And anybody who don't have the time to do what I did for the last few weeks, I'm probably going to give up. I'm probably saying, you know what, I'm just going to do for fun, and that's it. For me, you know, I can do it full time, and I'm learning more and more as I go in terms of YouTubing, and hopefully you guys can see that in my videos, and that's it. But I do have a lot of content from 2 years ago. I have a lot of, because in the last 2 years that I've been here in Vietnam, I've done a lot. I've done quite a lot of things. I've been to a lot of places. I have videos on a lot of stuff that I have not even created, and I didn't plan on doing YouTube until about a year ago. So I said to myself, I have all this content, why not put it out there, right? That's what made me start YouTubing, and now I love it because I always loved film. I always wanted to get into film when I was back in America. So now I have the opportunity and the time, you know, to do it. And I'm also doing, you know, teaching on the side, and I got my freelance thing going as well in terms of real estate. So there's a lot of things I do, but I do have the time to YouTube at my own leisure. So yes, so I spent the last few weeks actually tweaking my YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys appreciate that, and be looking for more. Subscribe and share. Booyah.